Hey guys, George Diamondyard Sports Cards coming at you with another video. I have an SGC submission here, 23 cards, and it was dropped off in a front row show, I believe in Phoenix in early April, got it back in early May. Grades are fair, accurate, they look great, the cards look great. It was a few cards from the 70s and 80s special at $12 a card. It's just foolish not to do something with that. That's over now, though. And then I had a regular submission as well. So a total of 23 cards. The second thing I want to talk about before I get into that is the front row show coming up here in San Diego. I'm going to be there, have 3 tables. I'll be toward the back near where on the right side toward where SGC is. It's going to be a great show. So if you're in California, Southern California, come on out. It's the first show in San Diego in a long time. And this originally was going to be a 275 table show, and now it's going to be a 400 table show. I know there's at least a dozen or half a dozen dealers from Arizona that do vintage that are going to be there. There's Pokemon there. There's all kinds of stuff, and that's just part of the landscape of these shows these days. But it's going to be a great show. Kit Young Cards is going to be there. That's kind of where they're from. There's going to be a lot of San Diego dealers there. So it should be an outstanding show at the Town & Country Resort in Mission Valley. So without further ado, let's get going with this SGC reveal. Here we go. So SGC had that special, and that special was the 70s cards, and I took advantage of that. I thought that was a great special to try to go after. It was just, it just made sense at $12 a card. I didn't submit as many as I guess I wanted to, but we're going to get into those. So here we go right now. First card was a really nice Dave Parker rookie, PS or a SGC 6. Looks really good in this tux. Newly minted Hall of Famer Dave Parker. There's one other Dave Parker card in this, and it's going to be a pretty kind of a rare one. Hank Aaron, 73 in a 6. Nice looking card. Some of these cards are much higher than others in price, and some are. I just picked out the nicer ones from the 70s submission and 80s. This is a rare card. At least population-wise. O-pee-chee Ricky Henderson in a 9.5. Not a whole lot of these out there. Just a shame, that Ricky passed. Still can't believe it. He and Fernando. But anyway, one of a kind. I'm going to put him up here because he was always one of a kind. Next one, Nolan Ryan, 86. O-pee-chee in a 9. Figured that this was one that had a shot between a 9 and a 10. Just a really nice card. Obviously, the back is a little bit off, but who's displaying the back? The front looks fantastic. So, O-pee-chee Nolan Ryan. And this is a rare one. This is the last one, or not last one, second last one from the 70s submission. Dave Parker Venezuelan sticker. I picked this up at the National last year, and I don't know, I don't think SGC has ever graded one. I think PSA's population is like 5. These usually get authentic or a 1. You can see they were glued in books like all these Venezuelans. And so it was really nice eye appeal on this Dave Parker Venezuelan 77 top sticker. So I'll put him up there for now. The biggest card in the 70s submission, and this just made sense, is this O-pee-chee Gretzky. When you can pay $15 and get this card graded in like less than a month, and they're not upcharging you, and it's a nice one. It's a nice Gretzky O-pee-chee rookie in a 4.5. Centering is really tough. Got kind of a rough cut, but that's just the way it is with these. Just thought this was a really, really nice looking card, and really happy to have it. Some of these cards, a lot of these cards will be available in San Diego if you have any desire to come by. And again, I'll be in the back. 3 tables. This is the beginning of the regular submission. I submitted this Topps Chrome Jordan and thought it might have a shot at a 10, but it just shows you what I know about modern cards. LOL. But anyway, so the Jordan got an 8.5. Shohei, I knew this one was going to get the grade it did. This is a rainbow foil Shohei. Look at the shine on that. But anyway, so this card is a 10 all day, except there's a little dent kind of right there. You can kind of see it in the light a little bit. And I knew that would bring it down. So 8.5. But still a nice looking Shohei rainbow foil rookie. The rainbow foils don't get as much love as the golds, but they are more rare. Went big on 18 update, 17 update. This was a cool looking 2019 photo variation of Soto. I got some good shine. I guess this is a refractor. A PSA puts on there that it's a refractor. SGC does not. It doesn't necessarily say refractor on it, but it's just really cool Soto Rookie Cup photo variation. Got a 9.5. I was hoping for a 10, but still a really cool looking Soto card. I got some vintage here coming up. Everything here is pretty much, it's 1955 and to present day. Here's a Dick Butkus rookie. I got an SGC 5. This is a really nice copy. Off left to right a little bit, but just a good looking Butkus rookie. And graded fairly and just looks really nice. The surface on this thing was just smooth as a whistle. So there's a Butkus rookie. Put him here. Skeens, couple Skeens cards here, and then we'll get into more vintage and some other cards. This is a holiday, blue metallic holiday tree. Some kid just came up and sold it to me, and I said, you know, this looks like a 10, so I'll sub it. And then there was a photo variation, Skeens from Chrome, and this is the last modern card in here for you vintage fans. Chrome update, Skeens SP, the photo variation, it got a 10 as well. Was happy about that. So 72 Clemente in a 6, off left to right, but a really good looking card. Nice registration. I liked his other card, regular card, better than this in action card. He just looks disappointed, but then again, it's kind of cool to show, more of the human side, because Clemente was a very emotional player, and you see the human side of the great one right there. This is a couple Jordan cards. We'll hold off on those for now. This was a reholder. It was a 56 Jackie and a 5. It was a reholder. It was an old flip. There's a little bit of fading on his face, not too much, but it's a nice looking Jackie. Always, going to add those to the collection and have them for sale. So, you can always bargain at any time at my table. I'm going to have some Jackies. This is a friend of mine's Maze. 55 Maze. He got it reholdered. That's not on the card. It was a really good looking, it's off a little bit left to right, but, just good looking card. And then there was a 50 lower grade, 55 Hank that had good eye appeal. Bought this raw. Just thought it would, it's got a little wrinkle in it, but I thought it would do pretty well. Just looks really nice in this tuxedo slab. And some Jordan stuff. 90 Flair Jordan. This card has to get a 10 to be, valuable at all. And it did, and that's great. It's a really good looking card. But anyway, 10 on that one. This is a cool one, just in a random box. It was a holding court refractor and with coating, and I'm getting to know more and more about these Jordan cards, refractors. But yeah, just had to submit this. I mean, even in a 7, it's pretty valuable. And again, I give it to SGC because I'm going to get it back soon. If I give it in bulk order to PSA, I'm not going to get it back until like the West Coast Card Show in late August. So it's just, it's a time thing. And, if somebody wants to buy this and snap instant to PSA, they can. But it's a good looking refractor. So put that one right there. Now some vintage here. We've got 4 more cards and some good ones here. This is a 69 Clemente in a 5, and nice, the corners are certainly 5 corners, but the registration, the eye appeal, and the centering is pretty good on it. Real happy to add that one. These were the 3 bigger cards in this order. This was a Maze and a 7. I thought this had a shot at a 7.5. But, SGC can be tough, especially vintage and higher grades. There is a higher grade card coming up. I got a bench and a rose coming up. So that was a 7, which is kind of what I expected. I expected 7, 7.5. This is a higher grade. This is a good result. Bench and an 8.5, 70 bench, high number. Just a really nice card. This was, I'm trying to remember if this was in the 70s order or not. I don't think it was actually, because that one had ended. But I picked this up at the show along with the Maze and this rose coming up from a dealer, and they were raw, and I thought these cards are like 7s and above. So that is a really good looking Johnny Bench. And last one is a rose, and we're all excited because now Rose has a chance here and likely will get in, but it's a beautiful 7 64 Topps Rose. And this is ironic because I have a 64 Topps Rose in a PSA 7 that I got when I was a kid, and I did a mail order to San Diego from Kit Young, and that's where I got my Rose. So anyway, this is one I have as well. So these cards, you know, just kind of really excited because these were raw and got them graded. So guys, thank you for tuning in. Hope to see you guys in San Diego, and keep collecting.